Hello everyone and welcome to the MCE News Roundup, where we go over last week's most important news and headlines, as reported by our Telegram team. Let's get on with this week's news. The European Commission has met its responsibilities on nuclear safety, mainly for legislation and oversight, according to a report from the European Court of Auditors. However, there is still room to improve. The ECA recommended strengthening the procedures used to verify the efficiency of national radioactivity monitoring facilities. The EU has added 8 businessmen and 2 entities to their Syria blacklist, bringing the total number to 277 and 77 respectively, in a sanctions regime that began in 2011. It has also extended an arms embargo on Belarus for 1 more year and maintained sanctions on 4 ex-officials said to be involved in the vanishing of pro-democracy activists. Turkey has slammed the EU's planned mission to Libya, saying that Brussels has no right to decide the country's future. The EU will launch a naval mission in March to enforce the UN's arm embargo on Libya. Ankara believes this is undue interference. Bulgaria has delayed until July its plans to join the ERM2 exchange rate mechanism to ensure national consensus on euro adoption. The ERM2 is known as the Eurozone waiting room. Bulgaria would need to spend at least 2 years in the mechanism before it is able to join the Eurozone. EU leaders failed to reach agreement on the EU's long-term budget as member states clashed on how to fill the Brexit budgetary gap. Northern states demand budget cuts to space, defense, Erasmus, and more. Poorer cohesion states are pushing for more investment. The EU Commissioner for Financial Affairs Paolo Gentiloni has announced that the EU is open to relaxing budgetary rules for countries hit by the coronavirus outbreak. The rules contained flexibility clauses linked to so-called exceptional circumstances, he said, noting a partial materialization of the coronavirus outbreak's negative economic impact. Center-right Olano has won Slovakia's parliamentary elections with 20% of votes and 50% for its likely coalition, exit polls show. Center-left Smer was hampered by its ties to the assassination of Jan Kuciak and plummeted to 15%. The Norwegian Court Administration, or the NCA, has withdrawn from its cooperation with Poland under the justice program of the EEA and Norway grants. The decision comes as a response to Poland's justice reforms. Basic European standards for legal security are no longer present, said the director of the NCA. Our main story of the day is the situation at the Turkey-EU borders in Thrace, the northeasternmost part of Greece, where migrants are flocking to enter the EU after the Turkish government announced that they would no longer abide by the 2016 deal, restricting migrants' access to EU borders. Bulgaria and Greece, the 2 countries neighboring the European part of Turkey, have explicitly declared their unwillingness to let anyone in and have proceeded to take defensive measures. Greek police forces have been using smoke grenades to deter entry, and around 1,000 Bulgarian troops have fortified the borders. This abrupt decision by Ankara is suspected to have been triggered by a recent airstrike in the Syrian town of Idlib that led to the deaths of 33 Turkish troops. Turkey's move has been interpreted as a means of pressure towards the EU and NATO in order to gain support for Turkey's operations in Idlib. The European Union's response has been firm, with Ursula von der Leyen expressing her gratitude towards Greece's role as a shield for the rest of Europe. This statement has been deemed controversial by some. Additionally, Austrian Councillor Sebastian Kurz has openly characterized the situation as an attack by Turkey against the EU. Finally, the EU has pledged 700 million euros of support towards Greece in order to aid the response to the migrants' influx. This is a story that is currently developing, so we'll be back next week to go over any events that will follow. This has been the MCE News Roundup, hosted by Jason Kiriakos. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you next week.